Welcome to the Magnetic Mismatch Show. My name is Linda, and my co-host Will.
Hello. It's Sunday. I'm hyper.
Sunday?
Oh, Saturday. We're not even to Sunday yet.
You're off.
Oh, this coffee. I drank too much coffee this morning.
No, it's a long week. It's been a long week.
It's worth it.
What do we have cooking on the background?
Ooh. You guys can't smell it, but there's a giant pot of oxtail pho.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
We actually have friends over later today.
I know. Look how hard we're working.
I know.
Even with the hangout tonight, we're still recording.
A podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
For you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're making oxtail pho and some salmon spring rolls.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah. My friends are so lucky to have me. It's a blessing.
Dude, it takes a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I was cooking.
If they're listening, you guys better appreciate this.
You guys better like our video and subscribe to us. Yes,
Just
friends.
bribe them with food.
Yes, friends, we're talking to you.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I actually went to the grocery store and started cooking after work, and we had the pot on until about 1 a.m. I don't know. I knocked out.
Well,
you
because
stayed
we
up.
came home pretty late, both of us from work. So,
Yeah.
And the pho needs to cook for what, at least like 6 hours or something.
Yeah, like a low simmer.
Yeah, so we were able to cook it for maybe like 3 hours last night, and that's why
we're gonna finish off the
reconvened.
3 today.
Yeah, and you got a lot of the fat out too.
I did.
That's the nice thing about those soups, though. Like when you make it, all the fat comes out, and you can just skim it.
Yeah, you don't feel less guilty anymore.
Right, because oxtail is pretty fatty.
It's super fatty.
So, anyways.
So that's a fitting topic for today, right? Friendships in our 30s versus our 20s and teens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good topic.
It is.
It's a tough one.
It is. It changes a lot over time.
You know, as you get older, you get wiser, hopefully. More mature. I don't know. Do we? Doesn't feel like it sometimes.
No, I don't feel mature.
Yeah. But it is interesting to see how relationships evolve and friendships evolve.
Yeah, over
from
time.
Like when you're, in middle school or high school to where we are today in our early 30s.
Well, you're mid-30s.
No. I'm technically still in my early 30s.
In a couple months.
Yeah, a couple months. Let me enjoy these next couple of months, damn it.
We'll round you up to your mid-30s going to 40s?
Goodness. Mid-30s is 38, right?
No.
Oh. Can we extend that upwards? No?
No. If you're 38,
I'm 34 right now. So.
The roundup is 40, friend.
Let's round down. Anyways.
Well.
So what about friendship? How has it evolved compared to where we are today? Because it definitely changes. I think when you're younger, you haven't like developed that self-confidence. You don't know who you are yet. And we're all kind of focused on just being popular, or at least some of us want that. Like it's normal. You want to be accepted. That's right.
Yeah. I feel like in our teens, like high school, middle school, you want a lot of
friends or
a big group of friends. I don't know.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Because the school we went to, right? The more popular you are, the less likely you are to get bullied.
So it was a survival move? That's what it was?
Kind of, but I feel like that's still true for today. It's hard because kids are mean.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn kids.
And, you don't want to be labeled as the quote-unquote loner, which is nothing wrong with that, right? Time to yourself is super valuable.
Yeah.
But in high school, I just felt like I had to try to be popular and
fit in.
Yeah, to fit in.
I think it's so weird because now that I'm in my almost mid 30s, I can't even put myself back into like when I was, 16 years old, 17 years old. Like, I'm trying to think about, how did that feel at that time? I guess I remember a little bit about it in terms of just like wanting to be accepted. You just didn't want to be the outcast,
Yeah.
And so at that point too, where you're freaking teenager, there's like hormones and all this stuff going on.
You're insecure about yourself.
And that's what was important at that time, right?
Yeah,
Like in
you're
high
looking
school.
for external validation.
Mhm.
Like that's all you wanted was to feel accepted.
Yeah.
Right.
And that puts a lot of pressure on kids.
It does. It really does. And I feel like it's harder now too with social media, because back then, in our teens, if we got bullied at school, at least when you went home, it was still a safe environment. Right now, the bullying is cyberbullying. It takes it to next level. And
so you get bullied in school physically, and then also afterwards when you go home, online too.
Online.
Damn, there's no safe place.
And that could last 24. That's 24 hours.
No wonder kids get so screwed up.
Yeah.
Like, at least, like you said, for us, you could go home and like, oh, you have a safe spot. You're away from all that.
Try to run home from your bully, right? Or try to time it or somehow.
Leave right after school, the bell rings.
Exactly. Or have your parents pick you up immediately. Or meet you somewhere, or, you take the entrance they don't take, right? So you don't run into them. You can always escape, but now there is no escape. Yeah.
So what was high school Linda like when it came to friendship? Weren't you a cheerleader or in drill team?
Yeah. Well, I only did that because I only did that for sure was because I knew that it's all about perception, right? So if I was in drill team, even though I didn't really get along with the girls in the clique because they were pretty cliquey, at least people thought I was popular, or there's an association with the popular,
the cool kids.
Yeah. So I got left alone.
So even though you were part of the group, you didn't feel like those friendships were real?
Of course not. Definitely not. But
lifelong friends from that?
But we went to school in East LA, right? The only thing I really cared about was me coming home safe.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough growing up there.
Yeah, so if I joined drill team.
So that was the reason you joined?
Yeah.
You didn't have any interest in it at all?
Not really.
Oh, so you just saw like, those look like that's what cool kids do.
Yeah, and it was counted as fitness class. I was not about to step into that locker room. I probably wouldn't have survived that locker room.
So just because you were in that clique or that group, even though within the group you didn't really even feel like you had real friendships, it was just like, oh, I'm the safety of the pack, right?
Yeah.
Being part of that group allowed you to focus on other stuff.
Because the outsiders, they don't know.
Yeah, right? That's true.
I mean, I stayed safe for 4 years. No one picked on me.
I think, and at that point, you're like, when you're in high school or middle school or whatever, and you're in your teens, you haven't developed that self-confidence, that self-worth. You don't even know who you are yet, right?
You don't.
So you just want to be part of something, and feel like you're accepted and loved.
Even though it's a perception,
it's superficial.
But I guess at that moment, I would rather take something over nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think as you get, and you're willing to put up with more toxic people that gossip, people that are negative, just to fit in or be liked or not rock the boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you just wanted to blend in.
Yeah.
You didn't want to shine too much.
Yeah. So, but what happens over time is, as you get older, your level of tolerance for bullshit goes way down. Like nowadays, like we don't even, like, if somebody's that way, it's like, oh, I'm just not even going to get involved, You know
what? Because now I feel like we have a choice. Whereas in high school or junior high and elementary school, you had to go to school with them.
That's true.
Right. Even in college, there is still some freedom. You can leave whenever you choose to. You're not stuck with these people
for 3 years or 4 years in the same classes, and
like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then, during the playground period, there's never a safe zone. Whereas now, if I don't like somebody, I can choose not to fit them into my calendar, or not see them, or ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And now you know your self-worth. Like, you don't have to put up with bullshit.
Yeah, and I think also in high school, or, when you're going before college, and like you said, that freedom part, there's a limited amount of people that are in that school. It's so small, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
sense that like whoever is in your class, that's who you're going to be hanging out with or you're going to be part of. And if you get pigeonholed into,
A certain clique.
a certain clique, a
Yeah.
certain group, like the nerds, the jocks, the whatever, right? The popular kids, the not popular kids, which sucks, but that's how it was. And you're stuck. Like that's your identity now.
Yeah.
And that's why it was like really cool where when you go to college, you're able to reinvent yourself. And so if you didn't like that identity that you had or that you got labeled with,
Yeah.
you're able to change it later on
Yeah. Because
and then
you
meet
were
new
the
people.
quiet kid,
I was super shy.
super shy in high school, right? And
Yeah.
college redefined you.
Yeah. That gave me an opportunity to expand and meet new people, and be around other people
Yeah.
and find the right group that clicked,
Yeah.
instead of just being stuck, or at least you feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like we were saying, with friendships when you're that young, it is definitely more of, you think more on the line of like, oh, my value is higher when I have more friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number of friends versus like, hey, if I have a handful of homies or close friends that are ride or die,
Yeah.
right? That's a different story. But you don't think that way, like when you're that young,
No,
or at least I didn't.
definitely no. But now I realize that you really don't need that many good friends, and they're really hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
So if you find people who share a common value and they're just good people, hold on to them because they're so hard to find.
So I think people use that term friendship or friends pretty loosely though too, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say?
Yes,
Because
definitely.
I think most people like, oh, I have this many friends or Facebook friends or,
Mhm.
followers or this or that. They're not really like your friends.
Yeah.
Like you have like your really close group, your people that are going to be there for you, right? No matter what.
Yeah.
I think it's more acquaintances. A lot of people have a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah. I think, for a true friend is someone, if you're down, if you have nothing, will they still hang out with you? Will they take you in and help you, right?
When things turn bad or when
Yeah.
there's the downtimes in life,
The ups and
are
downs.
they
Like
there?
they'll enjoy the good times with you, but then
Because some people run.
yeah. Will they be there to help you
Yeah.
during the hard times to get, because it's life. You'll have, your highs and your lows, right? Will they stick by you for all of
Mhm.
it?
No,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
And it is hard to find people like that
It's
will
really
be
difficult.
there to support you, to um, just be a friend, right?
Mhm.
When you need that help,
Yeah.
will they be there? Versus people that like they could be an acquaintance and you have a great time hanging out with them, partying with them, or just grabbing dinner, beer, you know. But that's a little bit more superficial level. There's really not a whole lot of depth,
Yeah. Yeah.
like there's some people that also you can't really talk about life with them. They get very uncomfortable. They're more down to talk about like TV shows or just partying or random things that are very superficial and not really real life shit.
Yeah, it's true. And you have some friends, when you tell them about your new adventures or how you're trying to um,
Grow.
grow and develop yourselves, you know, in the back of their mind, they're rooting for you to fail.
To fail.
Yeah, they don't want you
But
to
they put on a
succeed.
smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know some of those people.
Frenemies. Frenemies. And yeah, that's true. You encounter a lot of that. And you meet more and more people like that throughout your life.
Yeah.
And in the past, I think you're more likely like, oh, what's wrong with me? Or like, you can't sense that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But as you get older, your bullshit detector goes way up.
Yeah. And I just don't feel as bad cutting people out of my life now.
Yeah,
The
that's
toxic
very true.
people. It's still hard because you still try to justify their goods, but sometimes it's just they're one of the reasons that you're holding yourself back too. You feel like you can't completely shine when you're with them, or you're trying to. Everyone is always trying to be better, right? But you can't be better with people that are holding you back.
Yeah.
Right.
it's easy. I mean, logically, it makes sense. But then when you're in a situation, like let's say you've known somebody for 10 years,
Mhm.
that's a long time.
That's a long time. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they're always that negative person or toxic person. And like you said, like, oh, they pretend to be happy for you when you're trying new things or doing new things or trying to improve on yourself.
Mhm.
But they always find a way to try to like party poop, right? Like,
Yeah.
if that might be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm working on this project or this, and I'm starting this business, and it's like, oh, but da 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 da, try to bring you down, like, or there's some snarky,
Yeah.
like, negative remark.
They're like a crab in a bucket.
Yeah,
Right? The crab that's trying to climb out of that bucket. All the little other crabs are holding it back.
like,
So
where
you
do you
gotta,
think you're going? Pull
yeah,
them down.
pulling them down.
Come
Back
back here.
to the
Be
bucket.
part of the herd.
Yeah. That's why you don't have to put a lid on a bucket of crabs.
What?
Yeah.
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah. So
it is hard though. I mean,
it is.
You and I have both had people like that in the past where we probably let them in our lives for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
We should have cut the ties a while ago, right? Sooner. Because like you said, it starts impacting your life, their toxicity, their negativity, right? They're not real friends, but why do we allow them to continue to be a part of our life? Why do you think that is? Because like when you're younger, I think part of it is just because of you haven't developed your own self-worth and have confidence enough to say, I don't need these people and I can go find the right people.
But change is also scary.
Yeah.
Like change of friendship.
You feel guilty, don't you?
Yeah, or starting over. And it's scary. Right? I think as human beings, we like to feel comfort and we kind of like to, be surrounded by things and stuff that are familiar.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes you just have to learn that it's okay to outgrow your friends and you can pick and choose.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. It's
naturally.
Natural.
Yeah.
All right, your interest starts changing. Your life circumstances starts changing.
Your goals.
Or demographically, people start moving.
Economics, social status, and all that.
And you have to pick and choose who you want in your life, because I feel like in my 30s, I'm starting to recognize how valuable time is. Right? We don't have an unlimited time. So why do we have to deal with people we don't enjoy talking or hanging out with? I would rather put that energy towards the friends that I love hanging out with, that I have a blast hanging out with, that supports me, right? And wants me to shine. Versus someone just bringing me down. I just wasted a couple of hours with them. Why? I could give that to my friends, my parents, you, right?
Yes, more please. That's true. More selective.
Yeah.
With who you hang out with, who you invest your time with.
Yeah.
Because we do have a limited amount. And as you get older, you get busier, right? People go through different stages of life. And I think with friendships, what tends to happen, and it's natural, right? People start getting busier and relationships and friendships kind of fall by the wayside, which again, I'm not getting mad at people for that. Like, as people get married, you're not going to have as much time, right, to spend. You can't go out late at night every night with your boys and it's going to hurt the relationship with your wife or your spouse, right?
Or if they have kids,
if they have kids, especially if they have kids,
it's hard.
I think because sometimes people get mad, right? Like at their friend, like, oh, well, we don't
doesn't want to hang out.
Yeah, doesn't want to hang out. You've changed, man. Well, yeah, no shit, right?
I would hope you've changed through the years. I would hope my friends are growing and leveling up through the years. I don't expect them to say the same. I don't expect to be able to call them out every night and go have a drink. That's not going to happen. And that's okay.
It's just different. And I think people have a hard time accepting that, right? And they sometimes people get mad at at those life events.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, they feel like the single friend, maybe they want things to be like it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that. But then they have to understand, hey, this other person, they've got a baby now, or they've got a spouse that they want to spend time together as well. And so being understanding of that and then maybe adapting to those changes.
Yeah.
So,
But see, the beauty of life is that there are so many people in this world. And, with technology nowadays, we can make virtual friends,
mhm,
even, right? People
you
that are
can meet people online
yeah,
and then meet
like-minded
them in
people.
person.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I started doing that this year, joining like-minded groups. And, you know, every Friday we have like a little
Get
meeting.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And,
cool.
people who I would have never met, right, from my workplace or just places I normally go to. I would have never met these people,
Hmm.
but I'm so glad I did, because they're very encouraging and supportive, and we have similar, goals of where we want, what we want out of life. So that is another way to start meeting new friends. When you
Right.
start to outgrow your old ones, it's very comforting to know that you can easily make new friends as well.
Hmm. Yeah. And that takes effort.
It really, yeah,
It
it
takes
does.
effort and it takes you being willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because it's never a matter of like time, right? Like in terms of like, oh, I don't have time to go look for to meet new people, or I don't have time to work on my existing relationships. It's just how you manage that time and how important is it, right? From a priority standpoint.
Yeah. And I think it's always, it's very important to always have like a good support group or
Sure.
system.
Everybody needs that.
Yeah. So you can't really operate life successfully being a lone wolf.
Yeah. We all need help.
We,
Nobody gets to
where we are.
success or fulfillment without people there to support them along the way.
Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, like you actively went out to look for people that have similar goals and are like-minded in terms of what they want, or you put in the work to find that, because it doesn't just happen naturally. If you're not happy with your social circle, or maybe the people that are in your life are mostly negative or toxic or whatever it is, right? And you want that to change, you can't just keep doing the same thing. What if your coworkers are toxic, or what if your family members are toxic? I mean, family sometimes is a little bit more
That's a
challenging.
little tricky. You can't pick and choose your family.
You can, but you can distance yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
If they're really, impacting your life in a negative way.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you don't make a change or an effort to break from that normal pattern that you have, people don't just randomly appear, right? If you're doing the same thing, going to the same places, you have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone in order to give yourself a chance to meet new people, to attract the right people into your life.
Yeah. I think for me, I was very lucky because, I found some really good friends in grad school, and we're actually celebrating our 10 years of friendship this year.
Damn.
I know,
That's pretty
right?
cool.
I know. But
Whole decade.
a whole decade together. We sat together for 4 years and we worked together too.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point was, so after graduating from school, I started working. I kind of started, I don't know, building this shell. I stopped meeting new people. The only people I met were people at work, and
That's
we
just
didn't,
chance,
yeah.
right?
And we didn't necessarily, yeah, I've made some really good friends at work, right? But we didn't always have the same common interests, because I started looking into building a business, an online business to be exact.
Right.
And it's hard to talk to. It's just not a topic where it's like a lot of my friends were interested in.
Most people don't
Yeah.
get it, right? Unless you're
Yeah.
in that path
Yeah. It's
yourself.
because, I wanted to build or rebrand myself, and do some personal development. And, that's not something that a lot of people are interested in. So
And that's okay.
yeah. And I started feeling lonely,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I couldn't express that or, talk about it openly.
Right.
The only person I was able to share my journey with was you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because most people didn't understand, and it started getting really lonely. And that lasted for about like a couple of years, when I was like sitting around moping. I'm like, what are you doing? Go look for somebody, right?
Yeah.
I kind of had to snap myself out of that bubble and started doing some searching. And now I'm so glad I did it, because I have met people with common interests and a common goal.
Right. And I hear what you're saying. And it's not like friendship doesn't mean like your friends have to love everything, the same exact things that you do or
Mhm.
do the same things. Right. But in your case, it's like you have that core group of friends and those
Don't
are
get me wrong, they're very successful people,
absolutely.
right?
And they provide a lot of support in every aspect of life. But at the same time, when it comes to something like business or entrepreneurship, like, because I'm a business owner, I have my own business, and I think having gone through that journey, it's more relatable. We understand like how it feels,
Yeah.
when you're on that path. So it's hard for other people that aren't in that, type of environment
Mhm.
to understand how you're feeling. Like they want to support you, they want to be there, but then it's really difficult
Because they don't
because
understand
they've never been through it.
Yeah, it's very emotional. It's very up and down.
Yep.
Right? One moment you're at a high, next moment your business is plunging.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So it doesn't mean you only have to be stuck with one group of people. They can
Yeah.
provide a certain level of support for other parts of your life, and then from a business standpoint, you have another group of like-minded people that are doing the same thing or on the same path that you are.
Yeah.
And it helps
It's very
a lot.
helpful. Yeah.
Mastermind groups and just networking groups that are on the same path as you.
Yeah. And I think
That's huge.
I've been happier this year because of it. And I think it shows.
Because you can express your
Yeah.
frustrations and they get it.
They
Like, oh
get
yeah,
it.
me too. I went through that too.
Or
Or I'm
and
going through that.
you go through phases where you don't want to do anything. You want to be a little vegetable, right? And they
Yeah.
understand that too. And it's very encouraging. And then, they root you on to snap out of it, right? And then take baby steps because they get it. Or when your business is doing bad, you have someone to share your frustration and kind of take that edge off.
Sure.
Right. And then when your business is doing well, you have the same group to kind of cheer you on,
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then when you hear, other entrepreneurs doing well in your group, you're like, oh yeah, it pumps you up because you want to be like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's been really, really, really helpful.
Yeah. And what's cool is that when you have the right people in your life, the right group of friends, like your core group, it doesn't matter what you're doing in life. They're always going to cheer you on and support you and be there if you need that help or whatever it is, right? Even if they don't necessarily understand all the details about your other ventures, that's okay. Emotionally, they're there for you.
Yeah.
Which is what's really important.
That's really important.
And that's hard to find. So when you find those people, you got to hang on to them. And that's the thing, right? You got to nurture those relationships. Like I'm pretty lucky too, in the sense that I have a couple of friends that I would say are homies for life, and
you guys have been friends for over
we've been together
20, 30 years? 20. Oh, some of them
not
30.
that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like since middle school.
Oh, so 20 years.
So like 20 years, just 2 decades.
Just 2.
2 times more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool. And that I realize as I get older, how hard it is to find those people where you have chemistry, where you've been through things together and just your values align. It's not just, is it fun hanging out with this person? I mean, yes, that has to be there. You better enjoy hanging out company. And spending time, with that person. But are their values aligned with you? Are they good people? Like that's what I look for in friendships. Loyalty is number one. Are they just good people, not malicious? They're kind to other people. And I think you can tell a lot by how people treat
Other people.
others.
Just
Yeah,
because
by
they're
their
nice to
actions.
you, but if they're not nice to other people, that kind of sparks something, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It says more, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
sometimes it's easy to overlook it. It's like, oh, well, they're nice to me, but then they're like an a-hole to somebody else. Like, that's not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, that's like a pet peeve of mine. If someone's like not kind to other people, or like especially how people treat servers or people in customer service or things like that, like people that are quote unquote beneath them, like they
Yeah.
view it like that, and then it's so rude,
Yeah. I
like
can't stand people like that either.
yeah, that's the thing that kind of upsets me. So like when I see people like that, and it's usually like them doing something or saying something, because they can put on a mask and be like, oh, like the nice guy or nice
Mhm.
girl, but then you see how they behave. That's when you see the real truth, like who they really are.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't you leave a date because the girl you were?
oh yeah, back in
Yeah,
college,
she
I
was
dated.
snapping her
Yeah, I
fingers.
dated this chick where we went on a first date and we went to a restaurant. And as soon as we sat down, like, there wasn't a server that came by right away. But this chick was like, she got up and was like snapping her finger, like, hey, come here. Like,
That
I was
is
like,
so
what the
embarrassing.
hell's going
Yeah.
on?
Oh my
And she was like,
goodness.
when the server came, it's like, oh yes, sorry, like we're just kind of busy. And it's like, oh, I was like, oh, that's fine, we're not in
It
a rush or
happens.
anything. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens, I understand. But the girl is like, well, you guys did this, you need to do a better job, and I'm here, like, you see customers. I mean, I get why she's upset, but at the same time, it's how she handled it.
Yeah. That's
So
terrible.
yeah, just snapping her fingers, like, dude, this person's not your slave, like,
Yeah.
and
I
was,
mean, I'm pretty sure they want to serve you well too,
of course,
right? But sometimes it's they just can't, short
circumstance.
staff, or things happen.
Yeah, so
You have
just
to
the
be,
way, I didn't
yeah.
like the way she was talking to that person. Like I said, talking down to him just because he's a server, right? And you're the customer.
Yeah.
And so I just pretty much was like, oh, I got to use the restroom. Like, we didn't even order food yet. And I just bounced. I'm like, that was kind of messed up of me though, too. I
Yeah.
ghosted her before ghosting was a thing. I was like, dude, date is over. Forget
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I think I would have done the same.
Yeah, like if we had ordered something, then I would have just paid before I left. But thankfully, we didn't order yet. I was like, oh, I got to use the restroom real quick. I feel sick.
Oh, I don't
So,
blame you.
uh, but friendship maturing over time, I think that's what happens too. Your friendships become more mature. And I think you're also at an age where you're more clear about what you want from a friendship. And you're more clear on who you are and what you need in terms of emotional connection, right? Things like
Yeah.
that. And so you're able to cut people out that don't belong in that criteria or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And you're more focused on depth versus superficial stuff.
Yeah. I think as you get older, you realize that you don't need your friends, right? But
Damn, that sounds harsh.
well, that's not what I meant. Like, you don't need them to to help you survive or to validate you, because you already have all that. But you love to have their company.
They enhance your life.
They enhance your life.
Versus you being dependent on it.
Yeah, on their validation or anything.
From
so
others.
So
self-love, baby.
Yeah. So you come from a different standpoint, right? A position
you gotta love yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah. So because now you know yourself already.
And that comes with time. Experience, age comes with
life experiences.
Life experiences, really. Like when you fall on your ass and then that's when you learn. It's like, oh, this is what I got to do next time.
Yeah. And
because you get burned.
You get burned by people.
People disappoint you. Yeah. And then you hopefully learn from that so that the next time you meet somebody that seems cool or this or that, and on the surface, but then you're able to filter them out a lot faster. And that's not to say that as you grow in your life that you just cut out people that you've known for a long time. I think you have
Absolutely
to
not. You have to appreciate them.
even more so, right?
Yeah, because they've stood by you
Been
from
through
when,
the ups and downs.
yeah, from when you probably had nothing.
So how do you do that though? Like we have some really good friends now that are entering a new stage of life, like having kids,
Getting
right? Or getting
married.
married. And the amount of time that we're able to spend with them for sure has gone down.
Yeah.
So how do people continue to nurture those important relationships, especially that knowing that good people or people that fit right in your tight circle are very hard to find, and how do you do it? How do you spend that time with them?
I think you always have to make an effort, right? And second of all, I think we've talked about it in the past, is to calendar everything. Calendar your next hangout. Be more organized.
It sounds so business-like though.
But everything.
But that's what's necessary.
Yeah. And I think another thing is incorporation of
what do you mean?
Like incorporate maybe their significant others into the hangouts and activities, incorporate their kids as well into your activities and hangouts, right? Make it kid friendly.
Yeah.
Spouse others, make their significant others feel welcome to your group. Don't exclude them.
That's so true.
Right.
That can definitely happen.
I mean, we took you in.
Damn. What the heck?
Do we not?
Yeah, but I'm like amazing.
That's what you keep telling yourself.
That's what I got to keep telling myself, because someone beats up my self-esteem every day.
Oh, but I'm so funny. What? I gotta laugh at my own jokes.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think you make a good point about so maybe instead of just going out getting wasted at the bar or the club like you did in your 20s or early teens, it's like now it's how do we do more family friendly events? You kind of have to adapt, right? So if you really care about that person and maintaining that relationship, you work around it. You don't just say, oh, well, now that they're married, we're not, I'm not going to hang out with them anymore. Or now that they have kids, you find a way to make it work if, again, it's important enough to you.
Yeah.
Because I think the tendency for a lot of people is, and sometimes I feel like guilty of that too, where it's like, oh, they're so busy, there's no time to hang out. I'm just accepting it as this is normal, this is life, right? Like, because I used to hear people say it all the time. Once you get married, there's no more time to hang out with friends. Your life is like not over, but like when you have kids, you can't hang out with your homies anymore or this or that.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
It's not true.
You just have to prioritize and make it happen.
I think we've hung out with our friends more this year and last year than any other years.
Right. And to be fair, you can't expect to take all their time.
No.
And you're certainly not going to, you're not for sure. I do agree with that. You're not going to spend as much time with them. But when you cherish that relationship, you will find time.
And they're going to make an effort too.
Exactly.
If you make an effort, they would make an effort as well.
Exactly.
And if they don't, then right?
Yeah, because you want to respect their time and, understand that they're busy as well. But then it's okay. Even if you're meeting like once or twice, I don't know, a year. Is that too little?
That's too little.
That's too little. Maybe a couple times a year is what I mean.
4 to 5.
I was just trying to say that even if it's once a year, if let's say for whatever reason, that's like your friend lives in a different state and you guys were childhood friends, it doesn't prevent you from being able to stay connected, texting each other, right? FaceTiming or whatever it might be.
Give them a phone call.
Something to kind of stay in their lives, right? Stay there. But also making that effort, as you said, right, to be top of mind and to try to be part of their lives, making that conscious effort.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that tight friendship will drift apart if you don't nourish it, if you don't make that effort.
Yeah, that's like
it's natural.
That's like with everything.
Romantic relationship, family, friends.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to put in the time and the effort.
Yeah. Put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Make appointments with them.
Because I think people just accept that, oh, that's how it is.
Yeah.
No.
You don't have to
Why?
accept things.
Yeah, just because
the
that's
way
a
it is.
societal quote unquote norm,
Yeah.
we can change it. You can change it.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Anything else you think that somebody could do? What if somebody's going through that transition right now? Because I think it's a shock too. It's a little bit hard, especially let's say if you have a certain type of friendship in your teens and your 20s, and you're able to spend so much time with each other. You're out, hanging out every weekend or every week. And then it goes from that to I'm not going to see my friend for a couple of months out of the year.
Yeah. But like I said, right, you could always make new friends, meet new people.
Expand your circle,
Expand your
not
circle.
replace.
Yeah. Not replace. I would never replace my friends. I love them.
Unless they're toxic.
Yeah, unless they're toxic. But then
They
I wouldn't
been part of the
classify
group.
them as a friend,
Yeah.
would I?
Acquaintance. Frenemy.
Yeah, and just push yourself out of your comfort zone. Because I feel like you will meet a lot of people where you normally wouldn't have met.
I think you have to have the courage to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, and to actively go looking if that's what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to expand your circle or bring in new people, you can't just complain about it and be like, oh, it's so hard to make friends in my 20s and my 30s. It's so busy. I'm too busy. That's the excuse you're telling yourself.
Yeah. But then yet you have time to watch
Netflix.
5 hours of Netflix.
Terrace House. Damn, that show is so good. I'm addicted to it.
Or playing games.
Video games. Hey, I've been really good about that. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. That's the thing, right? People say, oh, I don't have time. And then boom, somehow you find time for video games, Netflix, partying, all this other stuff. I think it's an easy excuse, right? Yeah. Like, oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, those friendships fade, and that sucks. What a shame.
Yeah.
Because I think about it too. It's like how long you know somebody. It's not everything in the friendship, of course, right? Because there's some people you meet.
Yeah, instant connection.
Instant chemistry, connection. You hit it off, right? And then there's some people that you know for 5 years, 10 years, and it's not as close, right? Mm-hmm. You still don't really feel like you know those people. But my point is just making sure that the relationships that you do value, you have to make sure you spend that time and you find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Don't just use the excuse of I'm too busy or there's too much going on, whatever it is.
Because if you want something badly enough, you
can make it work.
Yeah. You will make the time for it.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all we have for today's episode.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts or words or anything?
No, we have a question for you guys. Let us know. How do you manage your friendship? How do you make new friends? Help us out. Give us tips.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Most importantly, make sure you subscribe to our channel, to the Magnetic Mismatch Show.
And download our podcast. Please.
And
I sound so needy. I'm like, please.
Ew, needy is so creepy.
Needy is creepy. So download the podcast.
Now.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.